Hi, I'm Paul Breen from Calendar Club in the head office here. Just want to congratulate everybody out in the stores for a great start to the season. We're going to just prepare a little 3-minute video on helpful hints about the things that we've seen out in the stores. Great job so far. Here's a few tweaks that might even improve it further. I'll take you around the kiosk now. So the first thing I'll draw your attention to is the placement of the signage for the box calendar section. So you can see here that we're trying to set the mini box perfect Christmas gift signs up in this position, the $20 box calendar at that position. In terms of how to actually apply the sign to the shelf, you can see the wire is stuck to the bull clip, which is then stuck to the shelf. There's a couple of ways you basically just push it in, and it sits perfectly there. The other thing that you'll need to do at night is remove these, because otherwise they'll eventually bend when you put the tarp on them. The same applies over to this side. As you can see, the $24.99 box calendar sign is placed below the $24.99 calendars, and the $20 sits below as well. So you can see the symmetry that we're trying to get here in the placement of the signs. Okay. On this section, the placement of your main Calendar Club sign is cable tied in 4 positions, 1, 2, 3, 4, so that it sits flat against the stand. Your bargain bins here has got your sign placed in an acrylic sign holder, so you'll need to do that if you haven't already. And obviously one of the issues with these calendars is they don't have the stiffener and they're not shrink wrapped. So to get a similar, to make them stand up properly, you can see in the back that we've got a box that we folded up to look like this. Okay, so that just gets placed in the back to allow the calendars to stand up straight like they do in every other section. We'll continue our tour around the kiosk here. With the dump bins, and as most of you will have a few of these dump bins on your kiosk, you'll notice here that we've given a bit more space between the shelves. That's to allow customers to easily flick through the calendars and get them out. Now if we place the shelf up higher, they've got limited room at the back to pull it out. The other thing you should be aware of as well is that there should be only one copy of each title in the dump bin, so that when a customer's looking, they're seeing the first one, a different second one, a different third one, etc. Okay, it's very important. To get this room, don't be afraid of using the floor position for your bottom shelf. As you can see, these shelves here are sitting on the floor. Okay, that gives you enough room here to have more room for your dump bins. You'll have to forgive this is our prototype kiosk, so you have to forgive our signs like this. Obviously you've got the real calendars. On the mini calendars, one of our restrictions in the mall is not to have anything placed above the height of the kiosk. So including our signage, it must sit below. So obviously the mini calendar signs sit in the position behind at a height no higher than the top of the grid. You should have your internet sign here. And as you can see, it's placed in, and this is a standard kiosk, it's placed next to the One Direction. It's cable tied in place. The key is to make sure that it's tied in such a way that it doesn't move around. Okay, and you can see here that there's 2 sets. There's a cable tie across here and there's a cable tie under here. But you need to make sure that when you've built your kiosk that angle is flat. One Direction as well. This is the merchandising of the One Direction calendar. Minis, walls, plus the placement of the poster sign, which sits on top of that. Okay, sits on top of the poster bin. As we move around, I'll just draw your attention to a few other things. One of them is the placement of your shelf extenders. So the intention of these shelf extenders, and this is all in your planogram, is to have the same calendar as a smaller version, sitting in front of the larger version calendar. So you can see here, Kimi dial, and then pin-ups are done in that way. Okay, all these shelf extenders have a particular position in the kiosk. Now, as we get, here's an example of a section where we have gaps. So ultimately you will have a situation where these planogram titles have sold out. Okay. The way we cannot sell an empty position. It looks terrible in our kiosk. So we need to make sure that we're merchandising this properly. Now, if you have spare titles in your dump bin, the thing that you'll do is you'll place the spare titles into the gaps to fill the gaps up. Okay. Then you'll look at filling this gap from something that may not have as prominent a position currently. So you may well take an Australian pubs calendar and place it here. What you don't want to do is place this calendar in two spots next to each other. Okay, that's no good. So here a customer will see Australian pubs up there, but it's unlikely to notice that there's a double up. Okay. Might just swing around to the point of sale desk here for a moment while we're at this end. You've got a promotional product here of Mr. Men mini diaries. These are $4.99. Now, if you don't have a $4.99 sticker on this mini calendar box or mini diary box, you'll need to write on with a texture pen $4.99 in easy, clear to see handwriting, as neat as you can. This is the merchandising of the gift wrap. You'll notice here that with the gift wrap that we never merchandise them with the flap folded up. It's always folded down. And with your point of sale desk or your POS in tower, if you have one, it's important this is always tidy. It's always merchandised properly so that it presents as well as possible. And also, when you're using a shelf underneath here for extra, as per your setup guide, you'll notice that this shelf isn't the full length along here, so it's the smaller version of that square shelf. So it's one grid space left. That'll allow it to fit in there nicely. Okay, so we'll move around here. This is an important end. We've noticed in this out in the stores this year, this hasn't always been merchandised in exactly the way that it should be. So you'll notice here with the mini diaries at the end, we've started the shelf position on the floor. Okay, so if you start your build of this section up from the floor, you should be fine. Okay, so it goes all the way up from the floor. There's plenty of room for everything. If you start higher than the floor, you'll be in trouble. Up here we've got our calendar stickers, and we've got a little calendar sticker sign promoting the $3.99. The calendar sticker sign, the calendar stickers should be displayed on these hooks that have been provided. One thing that we've noticed as well when we've re-looked at the store is that we've had to replanogram our slimline end. So you'll notice that the slimlines are of different heights. So as per our previous newsletter, what we've done is we've suggested that you put the higher, or the taller slimlines at the back to get a nice uniform look across the top, and the smaller ones down at the front. That will actually close the gap between this shelf and the top of the slimlines. So as you can see here, that's what we've done here, and that's what we suggest that you do, and you do it as quickly as possible. With your diaries, there's only a couple of tips here. Obviously, if you haven't put the plastic strip on to each of the shelves will have a plastic strip to allow the diaries to sit straight. You need to do that, and if there's any room or any gaps in this section, you make sure that the gaps aren't in the middle. All right, they're not there. You push everything across so that the gaps are at the end there, as opposed to the middle. Okay. We're nearly finished our little tour here. Don't forget with your diary, with your cat end, that there's an acrylic sign with a $20 sign in it. It's very important. If you haven't got the sign or the acrylic, you should look through your boxes again, and if you still haven't got it, you should let us know. That's very important. A lot of the stores will also have, which we haven't got here at the moment, but the floor decal, the $20 floor decal. Now, I'm sorry we don't have it here, but if you've been given approval to do that by us, that should be on the floor there. And that completes our brief tour of some of the things we've noticed in the store that hopefully will help you improve your store and your performance. The other thing I would say to you is, whenever you're approaching the store, look at the store from a customer's eyes. So as you approach, look at what's tidy, what's in place, is it full, is it tidy, is it straight, all the dump bins in place, the signage in place, all those little retail matters that we're actually going to present a better store and a better experience for the customer. So every time you approach, do that piece of work and you'll be fine. So thank you for your involvement to date. Thanks for the great performance to date, and hopefully this little video has been as helpful to you to get the most out of your stores. Thank you.